Tom Dupree's here, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under George W. Bush. Tom, how does a prosecutor whose smell of lies be allowed to stay on a case?
That is a very fair question, Leland. And that, to me, was one of the more puzzling aspects of today's decision, in that the judge, page after page, castigated Fani Willis for what she did here. He criticized her for having the relationship with Nathan Wade. He criticized her for the way that she's managed this prosecution. He criticized her for her public statements, and he criticized her for testifying, apparently untruthfully, in his own courtroom. And yet, despite all of those findings and finding an odor of mendacity that permeated the courtroom, he allowed her to survive and live another day as the prosecutor. So it was a curious conclusion to a ruling that was loaded with heavy criticism of the district attorney.
Yeah, and he went on to say that there's other forums to deal with these issues that Fani Willis has brought up in her misbehavior. I think what's maybe even more interesting is some of the reaction to it. We always enjoy having you on because you're a dispassionate observer of the law. Not all are that way on television. Here's Andrew Weissman, who's obviously quite enthusiastic about the idea of getting Donald Trump reacting to the judge's ruling.
This is such a huge body blow, almost a fatal blow to Fani Willis. I think the way forward is she has to voluntarily recuse herself.
I'm wondering now if there's going to be a lot of liberal pressure on her to recuse herself, because otherwise she is just a beautiful punching bag for Donald Trump.
Well, absolutely, I think there will be pressure. She has been and will continue to be a lightning rod in this entire prosecution. And you don't have to read a lot between the lines of the judge's opinion today for him to say that the public legitimately questions the integrity of this entire investigation, this entire prosecution, because of the things she's done and the things that she has said. And so to Andrew Weissman's point, if she were to step aside and say, look, Judge, you gave us a choice of either Mr. Wade or I leaving this case. Well, guess what? We're both going to leave the case and turn it over to the career prosecutors in the DA's office.
Yeah, well, that would probably preclude her from getting her next book deal and MSNBC contributorship, but that's sort of the way the world works right now. Trump's wins and losses over the past couple of weeks, we have it here as 4-1-1. SCOTUS agreeing to take the immunity case up, 9-0 ruling on the ballot removal issue in Colorado, 6 Georgia charges dismissed, 30-day postponement in the Manhattan hush money case. That was huge. Yesterday, judge denied a motion to dismiss. We have this down. Fulton County District Attorney Willis can stay on the case if Wade goes as a push. I don't know how you don't probably chalk this up as another win, right?
I think it is a win. I mean, look, the judge threw the lead prosecutor off the case, and he called the entire prosecution into question. In addition, there's the question of delay. At a minimum, this has pushed the proceedings back by weeks, if not months. So I think, by and large, it is a win for the Trump team. I mean, look, Fani Willis survives another day as the lead prosecutor. That is true. But this prosecution, to use, Andrew Weissman's phraseology, has really been called into question. And I think it's going to make it very, very difficult for her to continue to stay in this role as this prosecution moves forward.
Just in terms of the difference between, say, when you and I talked after the last federal indictment, right? You had the hush money case, you had the documents case, you have the Georgia case, and you have the January 6th case. And after that, things, I think you would have agreed, looked pretty bleak for President Trump. Is it possible to quantify in words how much things have turned around?
Yes, I would say they have substantially turned around. Maybe not 180 degrees, maybe 145 degrees, but they have turned around to a large extent precisely because the legal system is slow. The wheels of justice turn fairly slowly in the United States. And as we've seen from all 4 of these cases, things get delayed, motions get filed, things get litigated, things get appealed, documents get dumped that take time to review. It's one thing after another. It's very, very common in the United States for trial dates to get pushed back and back and back. And I think former President Trump is the beneficiary of that aspect of our legal system.
Yeah, and now he has something else to raise money on. I can almost see the fundraising email. Odor of mendacity. Give me $25 to help me fight the lies.
Sure.
Mr. Dupree, counselor, good to see you as always. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.